Hey guys, so today's video is going to be about creating a resume, and if you're in high school then you might be trying to get a part-time job, or if you're in college, I mean if you're in college you probably already know how to, but anyways, I just thought this would be a good idea since I actually help a lot of my friends and my boyfriend even write their own resumes, and so I just thought it would be helpful to have this type of video. So in case you do want to like apply to jobs and don't really know how, I mean I know you can Google them, but even then you might be kind of, I don't know, iffy about how to create one. So I'm gonna actually use a resume that I kind of have set up, and it's the same kind of format I always use. So yeah, I hope this video's helpful for you guys and you guys enjoy. Give it a thumbs up if you guys like these type of videos. If you guys would like to see how to write a cover letter, or how to write, what else would you need, a recommendation letter, just let me know and I could also do that for you guys. So let's just get started. Okay, so we're gonna start on top of the page, and on top right here you want to put your first name and your last name. And you also want to include your middle name, just the abbreviation. So in case you have a middle name, all you have to do is just put the first letter and then dot, and then that's it. So after you put your first and last name, you want to put your address, and obviously I kind of used my actual resume, but I just substituted a bunch of things and changed some of them. So you want to put your street address, and if you live in an apartment, you want to spell out the whole apartment and then put the number. But if you don't, all you have to do is just put your address, and it should look something like that. And then after that, well, I'm going to undo that. And then you want to put the city, the state, and the zip code. After, it should all fit in one line. You shouldn't have like a bunch of lines afterwards that. So it should all look nice and neat in one line. And then below that, you want to put your phone number and your email. So use your professional email. Don't use like some weird, inappropriate email. So make sure you have a professional email and write that one down. So after that, you're going to have your objective. So you need to type in objective, and well, you guys could copy this exact format, or you could just try to look for other ones, but this is how I do my resumes, and I actually learned how to do this one in high school. So and for your objective, you're going to write to obtain a position as blank. So in this blank space, you're going to write whatever position you're trying to apply for, whether it's being like an after-school teacher, or a bank teller, or I don't know, a cashier. You write that position down, and obviously don't underline it. I just put this little blank space just so you could fill in the blank. And then you continue writing by saying that will allow me to utilize my skills, knowledge, and experience. This is just very basic. I mean, if you want to change the ending, you can just change it however you feel like. Just keep it very professional and short. Don't make it like a paragraph long. It should just be a few sentences. So next is your education, and below that is the most recent one. So you will put your major and the college you're going to. So I'm going to CSU Northridge, so I have that there, and the major is whatever major you're in, and next to it you have to put the date and up to either the year you continued going, or if you're still going you would put present, and then you would put also the city and the state. Below that is my high school diploma, and then you just put high school diploma, and then you put the name of your school, and you also do the same thing with the dates, the city, and the state. Okay, so then afterwards, it's qualifications. And this is a part where you really want to pay attention to, because I suggest going to the internet. So when you're searching for a new job, you should look at their qualifications or like requirements and use those as kind of like a hint to what to put in this whole section. So if they're looking for someone that's team oriented, you want to make sure you include that, because they're keywords and you don't know if it's an actual person looking through this or if it's like a machine. And if it's like a computerized thing, the computer is going to be looking for keywords, and if your resume doesn't have those keywords, you won't really get to be considered. So if the qualifications are looking for like someone that has computer skills with PowerPoint and Word or Excel, you want to put those in. Obviously, you don't want to really lie about it, because then you will be expected to know these things, and if you don't, then you're going to be like stuck. So make sure that whatever you do actually put here, it's actually true and you're not completely lying just to get a job. So I actually included how many units I earned, just because for the job that I was applying for, they were interested in knowing that I had more than 60 units or 70 units, which I did. And then you just put some of the stuff I put responsible, enthusiastic, organized, and good communication skills. A lot of jobs will require that you have good communication skills. So you should like add that. And I'm bilingual, so I know English and Spanish, which was one of the requirements. And also first aid and CPR certified. So this section, you don't want to make it as long, just because your resume should be like a page long, or maybe even a page and a half, but don't make it like a huge long paper that's 4 pages long or something like that. So make sure try to stick to 2 pages maximum, but it looks a lot nicer and neater if it's just like a page long. So don't make this super long, because it's going to take up the space from the bottom. So don't write so much, because you still need the bottom, and it's also important. So the bottom part, it's going to include your experience, which is the next section. And in this one, you want to write the name of your position, whatever you worked at, or even volunteer work. So if you volunteer at a school or something, you want to put volunteer and then, I don't know, tutor or something, and then you write the date and the city and the state like you did up here. You want to make sure that these are like matching up with this. Don't make it like all messy, that they're not all aligned. Make sure that they are all aligned. So just make sure everything's aligned neatly, and that way it makes your paper look good. So underneath your name of the position, what you did or whatever you would consider yourself, you also put the name of the place. So if it was a school, like I was using as an example, you put the name of the school where you volunteered at, or the hospital that you volunteered at. So after that, you want to include what kind of things you did in that job, or your responsibilities, like what you do. So if you were working at a hospital or volunteering at a hospital, what did you do? Like, did you file papers? Were you just chaperoning, or like, what did you do? So basically, you could add a few bullet points of what you did, and then you could add another one. This one could be like what you're doing now. If there's anything that you're currently in, you put present. And then if it's something that you did a while back, you just make sure that you put the dates and you name the place. So if you have like, I would suggest sticking to 2 or 3 main ones, unless you really have something that they all kind of are relevant to the whatever position you're applying to. Then I suggest that you add that as well. Otherwise, if your experience or whatever job is nothing to do with the position you're applying for, I wouldn't put that in there, just because it's not relevant. And at the very bottom, you just want to write the reference. It's good to have 3 references, but if you only have 1, then just put that 1 reference. You put the first name, the last name of the person. Make sure make sure you do talk to the person that you are writing in your reference, just so they know that they may get a call, and that way they're not taken by surprise if someone's calling and talking and asking about you and stuff like that. So then you just write their phone number, or you could also just write upon request, and that way you don't have to really write anyone down. yet, which I suggest you should, just because it's less of a hassle and it makes it seem like you're more, I don't know, liable. So yeah, and that's pretty much it. That's your resume. It should look on nice and neat. Let me zoom out. That's too much. Okay. So it should look really neat and clean and like all aligned within each other. So that should be your resume. And then once you have your resume done, the first one, you have most of it done. All you have to do is continue replacing the position and probably your qualifications just a little bit, and depending on what type of job you're applying for, you might want to switch up your experience. But for the most part, once you're done with the first resume, you could pretty much alter it to whatever other job you might be applying for later on. That's what I do. Once I created one, I created different ones, and I just continue saving them. And yeah, it's not that hard. It just takes a while if you don't have your information next to you, like the dates. I think it's the hardest part, because sometimes I'm like, I have no idea when I did this, or I have to go back and check what year it was and stuff like that. But for the most part, it doesn't take that much time. You just gotta sit down and do it. And once you get it done, it will be so helpful, because then when you're applying to jobs, you just upload your resume and you're done. Just make sure that your position or name of the place is on the right one, and you're not sending the wrong resume to the wrong place, because that will be embarrassing. So yeah, that's basically how you write your first resume. Hey you guys, so I'm decorating this week's pages for September, and I'm gonna use this yellow polka dotted tape or washi tape,